Boom, and we're live.
Check the mic and make sure it sounds right, boy.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another awesome night, Paranormal Chop Shop.
PCS.
We are joined tonight by our awesome guests, Casual Conversations with G and A.
I love that show.
And tonight, Sonny is unfortunately off. He will be joining us next week. So tonight, you guys have Chad and Spooky.
What? Where's Sunny?
Yeah. Where is
Hi,
Sonny?
everybody.
Isn't he?
Hi.
Yeah. Hi, everybody in the chat. What's going on? We got 12 people in here. Awesome. Good to see you guys. Yeah, Sonny's out hunting, I believe. Right?
Oh, fun.
I don't
What's
know. He
Sunny
doesn't.
hunting?
I don't know. Hopefully Bigfoot.
Whoa,
Get some-
don't hunt him.
Well, I mean with pictures. He's got a camera he's gonna hunt with.
He's gonna hunt him
hopefully.
with
Oh, okay.
pictures.
Yeah.
That's cool. Like, so he's actually out there hunting, like in the forest, like for real?
Yeah. Well, he said that he's going out into the mountains. So he's up in the
That's
mountains
so
somewhere and he has
cool.
no service. So
Sunny
Yeah,
lives
Jamie.
out in Fresno, so I'm not sure where you guys are at. I know you guys are Cali, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are how far? An hour and a half away from Fresno?
Yeah.
oh,
so we're
sweet.
neighbors.
Nice.
Nightmare. I'm so excited. Nightmare
guys
is like
are?
awesome.
Yeah, you guys can hang out with Sonny. It takes an hour and a half,
Yeah.
you said, to get there?
Yeah.
Awesome.
We're pretty close. We're an hour and a half from Fresno and then an hour and a half from LA.
Oh, you're
So
like
we're
right in
in
the
the
middle of
middle.
me and Sunny, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Oh, you're in LA?
Mm-hmm. Well,
Oh,
I'm
cool,
North San
cool.
Diego, but always in LA too.
Oh, I love San Diego. I
Yeah,
wish
San
I could live
Diego's
there.
The best.
Really?
So beautiful. Yes.
Mhm.
He's like, I don't like it.
No. I'm shy. I feel bad telling everybody how beautiful it is here because I feel they always call me
Yeah.
bougie.
No, I
I'm not
love San
bougie.
Diego,
That's awesome.
especially the beaches. We actually
Mhm.
went for the first time. When was it?
I think
August?
2020. Yeah.
And we visited all the
Oh yeah,
beaches.
all the like
And
touristy places.
I definitely would love to live in
Yeah.
Coronado Island.
Yes.
It's beautiful, but it
is.
was crazy expensive. I was like,
Yeah.
I cannot live there even like in my wildest dreams.
It was we went there and I'm like, are we in Miami? Like it just seems so different. Like I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
this is just so nice.
How
And
far
I
away
will
is
say
that?
that is bougie.
Yeah.
Yes, it was really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Man, if Spooky says something's bougie, it must be
Yeah.
bougie.
Another
Where's
one of our bougie places is in La Jolla. They call it. Not La
Yes.
Jolla
Oh.
Beach is really famous. Chad is in Michigan.
Yeah, so
Oh,
I don't know anything
cool.
about any of this stuff. I'm like an hour west of Detroit.
That's
So I'm-
cool.
I'm surrounded by cornfields in a town of about 7,000 people. So you guys
That
are
sounds fun.
different world to me.
Oh, thank you for sharing our somebody shared our channel. Thank you.
Oh, is this Cat? Yeah, Cassie shared it. Thanks, Cassie.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
That's cool.
And thank
I
you
see a lot
everybody
of
for.
people.
Yeah, a lot of people in here were actually talking to me
Sean.
about how they're excited to see you guys.
Aw.
Aw, that's sweet.
Yeah, I hope some of our friends show up.
How long have you guys been doing your channel?
It's been 2 years
Yeah,
now.
2 years.
Whoa, you guys are
Yeah.
been doing it longer than us.
Oh yeah.
Oh, really?
Wow.
How old is
Yeah.
your channel?
Oh, not was it 9 months now, Spooky? It's not even that.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah, we haven't been doing it that long.
I
So
thought
that
you
leads
guys
me to
were-
my first question for you guys.
okay.
How did you start this? I mean, how did you get interested in this?
Do
And
you
when I
wanna-
say this,
Yeah,
I'm-
yeah.
we're talking about like paranormal, ancient ruins, aliens, and all that.
Mhm.
How did you get into all this?
Okay, so we started this podcast in 2020 because it was a tough time being on lockdown and we like to socialize, so we're
Mhm.
like, hey, let's do a podcast so we can just chat.
make online
So,
friends?
Yeah, and it was just for fun, but we ended up liking it. And I feel like we got into the like paranormal. Well, I feel like we've always been into that.
Yes.
But we hadn't talked about it in a public forum, like it's
Mhm.
always been, we've always just been listeners. I think we got started with the Coast to Coast radio station, and like it
Nice.
was just very interesting for us. Gloria's really into the like the whole like UFO scene, things like that, and
I am.
I really like the whole conspiracy theories, and and I think we really liked that Coast to Coast was kind of broad in that way, where it offered like
Everything. Yeah.
everything. So yeah, I feel
I'm
like
glad you brought up the Coast to Coast, because that was one of my favorite shows that you guys did, was talking about Art Bell.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
yeah.
These girls are too young to know about Art Bell, man.
We're 16.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's always been something interesting for me because we've experienced, you know, and when we
Yeah.
started the podcast, like we were like, we've never had an experience. But then as we started hearing
Yeah.
other people's stories, I was like, wait, we've seen that, or we've
Yeah.
had that
We've had
happen.
similar
So
experiences.
Oh, really?
I guess we didn't think it was paranormal until we heard other people talking about it,
Yeah.
and we're like, oh,
Yeah, a
snap,
little
like,
more
that's,
informed.
yeah.
Hmm.
I think a lot of people think they haven't had any experience, but really maybe they did, but they just disregarded it because they thought it was, I didn't really see that, or,
Yeah.
I don't really, maybe I was just my mind playing tricks on me.
Right. Yeah. And so when I really actually started thinking about starting this was when, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Dark Waters. So he was on Coast to Coast one time, and I just got hooked on his stuff. I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Like,
Yeah.
this is so interesting. And then I was like, I'm going to do something like that. We're going to start this.
Yeah, it definitely brought in more new information about things we didn't know about,
Yeah.
right? Like, Dogmans, things like that, right? Things that we were like, what?
Yeah, we didn't know
So-
that was even possible.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right.
But I mean, we try to talk about different things, not just, I mean, we do mostly paranormal, but sometimes we'll do like, get off that. Like we've done,
Yeah.
like the East and West, beef that
Yeah.
they had.
Tension
Yeah.
between these
The
two.
tension. And then we talked about like the Milli Vanilli scandal because, yeah.
Yeah, like
Awesome.
So we've talked about like different things, and we're
But I
like,
also-
like I said,
I also saw that you guys are, one of the things that, I really admired from you guys from the beginning when I first saw you was that, first of all, you're young Latinas, you're sisters, and you guys seem to be very proud of your heritage. And of course, I totally am down with that. I mean, you guys had some guys on there talking about the pyramids, talking about Aztec Mayan culture, and
Right.
some of the things. Another one of your shows that I like so much was when you guys talked about La Llorona. Anything that sometimes people don't know that, our grandparents and our mothers and our tias and tios, they have told stories all our lives to try to make us scared, right? They tell us these stories, but they're really part of the culture. So
Yeah.
I admired you guys for that, and for having whole shows on it. You guys do research for your shows, and that's very admirable. You put in the work.
Thank
thank you.
Yeah, we try to make it to where we're giving facts because we kind of like people to have their own thoughts on it. Like,
Yeah.
what's you think about it and you come up with your own conclusions type.
Mhm.
But I definitely like to give the facts. One of my favorite shows that we've done so far has been, well, I mean, there's a lot, but one of my favorites was the M Cave show.
Mhm.
Because it's just, I mean, the M Cave, and the guy, his name is Kenny Veach. He disappeared in the Nevada mountains, and
Ooh.
so there's like, it's a whole phenomenon in YouTube, and there's a big following on it. And so when I heard the story, it was actually on Coast to Coast, and Dave Paulides talked about it briefly. And after that, I was hooked. I was like, oh my gosh, what happened to this guy? And so it just gets into like this whole cave system that, conspiracies and theories on what happened. So it's pretty cool.
But I would say I think our culture also got us into like the idea of paranormal things, because I feel like that's how, like, parents and grandparents, they talk about these stories, and you're just like, is this a myth or did this really happen? So I think that mystery kind of like just naturally led us into like, hey, let's pursue these stories more.
Yeah.
Right. Let's find out more.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's amazing how similar our stories are, because you guys were talking about how you guys got interested in it in like early 2020, late 19, somewhere like that. And I think that's so many people's stories, because it was a time when we were locked in and the only thing that we could do was access our devices. So we had to find another way to communicate with people and meet new people. And I think that's where a lot of these channels sprung up from, is like, hey man, we can't leave the house and we still want to hang out with people. So what's the next best thing we can do? Plus there was so much stuff going on to talk about.
Yeah.
So I think the mix of so many things happening at the same time to start a conversation with, and just the way that it all worked out, where we couldn't go and do our normal life duties and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, these ladies
Yeah.
have been doing a show for 2 years. I wasn't even on YouTube a year ago.
That's cool.
That's hard to believe.
Yeah, it is hard to believe, because you guys seem like you've been doing it for years.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
cool.
'cause-
Thank you.
And that's one of the things, like, we got, like, I'm okay, I'm comfortable like talking, interviewing people, but like, I don't know, I still sometimes get nervous, or
Mhm.
like intimidated by
Yeah.
YouTube, like the bigger YouTube channels, because it's like, oh snap, like they're bigger, people
Yeah.
know them,
They're
like,
more seasoned.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like
So-
the first time we were on Alien Girl.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
I was scared to death.
Dude, I'm not even joking. The first time, or when I was on Butt Stuff with Bree and Jamie, I was nervous, because I'm like, well,
Yeah.
they've
Yeah, me
been
too.
established for a while, and they have a
Yeah.
base of people that follow them and stuff. So
I
it's
remember I
like,
had to have a couple tequilas.
did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
We should
definitely
do
nervous.
like a drunk episode.
Yeah, that would be
Oh, well, you need to be here at our after party.
A drunk
Join us
episode.
in about 45 minutes.
That's funny. That's funny. Yeah. I think one time I was drinking wine in one of the
Oh,
episodes, and I
yeah.
was like, I don't even know if we can do this, but whatever. I was having a good time.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
watching Lynn Wallington when she's doing her shows, because she's always incorporating wine at some point.
Oh, that's cool.
It makes the show just like flow easier, seems like.
That's another one I was very nervous for. The time that Sonny and I went on the Rebellious Ufology with Lynn and Jim Goodall together.
Oh yeah, I bet.
That
Yeah,
was
I bet you were pretty
intimidating.
nervous for that.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's still, I feel like I get intimidated, especially like if I see people in my chat and I'm like, oh my gosh, like they're in here. I get like all fangirl about it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's
'Cause it's
totally
cool.
understandable.
But you guys have had some of our buddies on your show. You've
Yeah.
had Roach. You've had
I've had
Eric
Connor.
from Paranormal Highway, Bigfoot Anon, Connor.
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, we roll with the same crowd.
Oh, I have to watch that
Yeah.
one. I didn't know Connor was on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's
he's
cool.
cool. Like, I love his energy. I was like, oh, man, I wish I can have a little bit of his energy. 'Cause,
Oh yeah, me
I
too.
think we all do.
yeah, but it was cool. Like, it was, and we've been wanting to do like a Bigfoot episode, but we're like, dude, we need to get somebody in here that knows
Yeah.
more about it, because we just know surface level. But he's like super awesome. He knows all the places where, like, prints, everything. So
Yeah,
that
you
was
sure
cool.
picked the right one. I mean, he's
Yeah,
like,
I know. Where did I see him? And that's the cool thing about like the paranormal community, that everybody chills in everybody's shows. And so you
Mhm.
see everybody from here, you'll see them on the Spaced Out, or you'll see them over on like what is the other, like S4, or even Roach, because Roach just started too. So
Mhm.
so you see us jumping around, and I see
Yeah.
people that I know from other chats, and I'm like, hey, so that's fun. I love being in the chat too. It's
Mhm.
super fun.
Yeah, we met a lot of people in both Spaced Out Radio and in UFO Garage. It
Oh
seems
yeah,
like-
there you go. And I think that Dave Scott would talk about it, right? Like, he's like, hey, everybody go chill over here. Like, we're gonna be out there, or that's gonna be the after party. So until I
Yep.
found you guys, and I was like, oh cool, like this is where everybody's at after.
Yep.
But
Yeah, it's
it's
pretty
cool.
cool how we all found each other, and like everybody's kind of figuring out who talks about what, who covers what
Mhm.
topics, and then if you're interested in, like you said, if you want to cover Bigfoot one night,
yeah,
you're
you go to
like,
Connor.
who in the community can I get for this show? And it's like, oh, we can get Connor and Eric from Paranormal Highway.
Mhm. Yeah.
Oh, Eric from Paranormal Highway is always talking you guys up. He loves casual conversations with you.
Aw. We appreciate that. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
He's got some fun stories. And then he has a lot of cool energy too. So I'm always like watching his stuff too while I'm at work.
Oh,
I'm
cool.
like, oh, he's on. Yeah.
Yeah, I sent him a message today. He's not feeling too good today, so I'm hoping that
Oh.
he gets better real soon. Seems like everybody's getting something or something.
Yeah, we had it. Like I had something. She didn't come over because she was scared. She's like,
Yeah.
no, whatever you have, I don't want it. So,
Mhm.
I had
Oh,
to
there he
scroll up
is.
quite a bit. This was at the
oh,
beginning of
there
the
he
show,
is.
but yeah, he was in here earlier. I
Aw.
hope he's still in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, feel better, Eric. We're thinking about you, Maine. Actually, he knew he was going to get sick. That was one of those things where I think his kids or somebody got sick, and he was like,
Mm-hmm.
"Man, I've been
Yep,
around
that's
my
how
kids,
I got it. They just cough on your face, they're like
right?"
everywhere.
Yep, little germ bugs. That's for
They
sure.
are.
Yeah, my sister works at a daycare, and when I lived with her, it was like every single day it was she's bringing home something different, and I could never heal up. I was always sick. So
You
it's
know
just,
what? It's funny that you say that because I worked at the homeless center. I worked with homeless kids for a really long time.
Aw.
oh
And
wow.
so it
So-
was very fulfilling. I loved it. But I
Mhm.
would get everything. Like, and because it's a homeless population. So they live like, it was kind of like a bunk, like a community. They had bunk beds and a lot of people would like be in the same room. So of course, like they give each other stuff and they would give me like piojos. I don't know if you guys know what that is.
Lice.
Head lice. Okay. They would give me
Aw.
like pink eye. I would have coughs every like so often.
Mhm.
So I was like, I'm
Yeah.
just doing this for love, you guys, because this is crazy. I would
That is-
cry. I'm like, I can't believe this, my hair. But yeah, but it was like it was nice and it was very fulfilling because they didn't have stability and I was able to like just share that and be there with them and they felt a sense of like
They felt comfortable.
attachment and they were so it was nice. It was nice, but it could it could get crazy too.
that's unbelievably nice of you to give your time up like that. It
Yeah,
says a
yeah,
lot
like,
about somebody's character.
yeah. I love kids. I was
Mhm.
wanting to be a teacher, but after working there, I was like, no, I think I'm okay. Like, it's
I got
too
enough for
much.
one lifetime.
Yeah.
Yeah, the people that
But-
can teach kids and the people that can work in hospitals and stuff like that, I don't know how. I'll keep making bolts for you guys so that those type of people can keep doing what they do because
Yeah, it's
I know I
hard work.
couldn't do it.
Yeah. And it's a lot of like emotion. Like
Yeah.
I would get very like emotional about it and I would get angry and I would be like, so I'm like, okay, I have to remind myself why I'm here. And then I would feel good. I'd be like, yeah. So
Right.
it was nice.
Yep. Nightmare says 35, no kids. Woohoo.
Kids
I'm
are
almost there.
fun.
33, no
Yeah.
kids.
That's funny.
That's funny.
But yeah. So we kind of just, like like to share like some of my, do you want to share one of your favorite stories that we've covered?
Oh man.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
like, we've done so many.
Yeah, there's so many. It's sometimes it's hard to decide. But you know what? I would say my favorite was the Whaley House. Simply because it was in San Diego and I love San Diego. So I thought it was awesome being able to like be there and do a podcast on it, like kind of like videotape the area and then talk about like our trip. Like to me that was cool.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
only thing about that was that we went during the pandemic, so we couldn't get in the house, but we were able
Aw.
to go around and videotape the
property,
Yeah, the
like,
property.
and it was cool. It was spooky because it was like during October, so it really had like that Halloween feel to it,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
So it was a nice experience, even though we didn't get to check it out.
Yeah, that's in a cool part of San Diego too. That's our what they call Old Town area.
Yeah, Old
Yeah.
Town.
It's very Mexican American flavor everywhere. There's restaurants and bars and lots of Mexican American shops with all different kinds of cool things. But it's also it is an old town. It's like one of the first parts of San Diego that was established. So it's really cool. Yeah, Whaley House is awesome. I think Connor, Bigfoot Anon, says that he's been there before.
Oh, okay.
That's
I'm
cool.
gonna have to look that up because I haven't heard of that one before. Whaley House.
Yeah, it's like
yeah.
an old property, right? That they
Yeah.
used to have hangings. in the
Mm.
back.
Yeah.
And
Mm.
did
They had
somebody?
hangings in the back.
Yeah, they used to hang people. in
And
the
they have
back.
like a night tour, right? Like night tour
Mhm.
bus.
It
Pretty
was
cool.
It was built,
Oh.
and then I think that some of the family that owned it, did someone die in it? I don't remember.
Wow, we don't remember.
Yeah, we've covered so many stories, it gets all mixed up.
Yeah.
But it's definitely haunted, and people have said that they felt, especially men,
Yeah.
are the ones that kind of get more of the paranormal experience, and they say they feel like tightness around their neck
Ooh.
because
Mhm.
of the hangings, I guess.
Yeah.
So
I would-
that's yeah. It's pretty creepy. Like I don't like so I like to hear
But
or
not
listen
experience?
listen to the scary stories. You know,
Mhm.
you can tell me about your encounter, but I don't want to like experience anything. I've experienced one thing, and after that it was done. Like I was like, no, I'm good, never again. And so
And it was a
like
ghost experience, or
no,
like a
no, it
spirit.
was I don't know what it was.
Oh yeah, your
It
crazy
was
experience.
so I'm gonna tell it. It was crazy. So I think I was, how old was I? You were a baby.
You're probably like
Um,
what, like 7?
No, I was older, I think. Because you were a baby. Yeah, like 8, 9. And my older sister, she was playing the Ouija board with her friends.
Oh hell!
Uh-huh. And we knew it was bad. Like my mom would always tell us, like, no, don't play that. It's del diablo. You
At
know?
your house,
No, it was at their house, a friend's house.
a friend's house.
And so they had it, and they actually like had it hidden like in the attic.
Yeah.
So they would take it down and they would play with it. And my sister was playing, and they asked me if I wanted to play. I was like, no, I'm okay. That's a bad thing. And so they played it, and I remember her asking it questions, and it would answer, but she would be angry about the answer. She would be like, why? Like, I don't want to marry that guy. I want to marry this guy, you know?
Yeah.
And so she would get like mad about it. And so they put it away that night. We all went to sleep. There was bunk beds. So I think 2 of us up top and then 2 of us at the bottom. And so I remember I was like at the bottom, and there was a chair right next to the door. And I saw like a shadow like sitting there. And it looked like it had a robe, like a black robe. And it had like, it was holding like a stick. And I was just staring at, like, I was just kind of like trying to like get a better look. And then I kept like hitting my sister. You know, she was laying next to me, and I was hitting her as hard as I could. She wouldn't wake up. And so I looked again, and then I saw it stand up, and it was like really tall, and it had that stick in its hand. And then it started walking closer. And then when I saw that, I took off. I was like, forget this. I don't know what that is. And my
Yeah.
mom said that I jumped over her. I ran out the door, and my mom said that I was like hysterical. I was crying. I was scared. And I kept saying that I saw a witch. And they came back into the room, and there was nothing there. So after I saw that, I was like, I'm done. I don't want to, I'm good.
hmm
Which I mean, that has been the only thing that I've actually seen. I've heard things, but I haven't seen anything after.
You said it had a robe, or it looked like it had a robe.
Yeah, it
Yes,
kind of looked
it
like
kinda-
the Grim Reaper, right?
Yeah, that's what I couldn't see its
Hmm.
face because it had like his head down, and then it had like the hoodie over.
Yeah.
And so I guess she said that I thought it was a witch, but
Right.
I don't know what
But
it
it was just like a black shadow figure.
Yeah, it was black and it was big, but I remember it looked like a robe, like it was something was covering it.
Mhm.
Definitely. So
And you-
uh-huh.
But you didn't see any facial features.
No.
Okay.
I
so
saw
just
him holding the thing, the stick thing,
Mhm.
but that was it. I didn't see anything else. I didn't try to like I didn't want to see it.
Yeah.
So I was like, no, I'm good. That
Not
was
to get
crazy.
like too dark, but did anyone around that time in your family pass away?
Wow, that's an interesting.
You know
question.
what? Was that the time that Uncle got killed?
Oh wow.
Oh, boy.
that's-
Because I didn't even think about that till you said
Yeah,
that.
That's
Because we had an uncle that was murdered, and he was
Yeah.
murdered like
it
was-
was pretty gruesome.
it was
right?
a yeah,
yeah.
it was a
Ugh.
very, and I think he was murdered by the cartel in Mexico.
yeah.
Holy.
So
And this
yeah,
is
it
where
was-
we change the subject.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. But I don't know if it was around that time. No, I think you were older already.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so it wasn't, yeah. Yeah, it wasn't
Man,
that. It wasn't that, like, it was, yeah, you were
well,
older.
that's
Yeah,
creepy.
that's true.
But that house that they lived in did get burnt down. So, and then there was a lot of bad stuff that happened with them, and like,
Oh, that Ouija
yeah,
board must have been,
it was
that's
crazy. And
that's
so
what they
like I was,
say.
yeah, and then so here's a funny thing, okay? No, not funny. The creepy thing. My sister, my older sister, when I brought it up, she's like, I don't ever remember playing it. And I was like,
Oh, like
You
missing
played
time?
it. Yeah. And I told her, You played it. I was there. And she's like, I don't remember. And then she ended up marrying a guy, and his name was Jose. And that was the name that the Ouija board gave her for the guy that
What?
she was going to marry. Yeah. And that was like way before she ever met this guy.
Whoa,
So,
that
Yeah.
is creepy.
yeah.
Yeah, from everything that I've heard, I know there's somebody out there, I can't remember her name, but she is totally cool with Ouija boards and she collects them and she's got lots of them. But everyone besides her has an issue with Ouija boards and says that like if you have one in your house, you're inviting whatever to happen.
But yeah, that's the thing. I've heard that you have to know how to play it, right? You have to, or you have to know how to use it.
Mhm.
And you definitely have to know how to open it and how to close it. Because if you burn it, you leave the portal open. So, like,
Mhm.
I've heard a lot of things. I mean, I don't know, but it was weird to me what happened with that. And the girls, too, that played it, they did not, like, as far as I know, like, their life was pretty crazy. Like, a lot of things happened to them.
Yeah.
And so did my sister. She had a lot of like
Yeah.
tragedies that happened with her, and it was crazy. So I'm
And that
like,
so that was your older sister, the one that you said
yes.
couldn't
Yeah.
remember?
Yeah,
That,
and then she tells me still that she doesn't remember playing it.
that's so strange because you were younger. You'd think that she would be the one that would
Yeah.
remember.
Right. So
And
I
it was
don't
more than
know.
just once?
No, she just played it the one time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that I remember. I don't know if she
Mhm.
played it again. But the one
It's
that I witnessed was one time.
You're right though. It seems like that would be something that you would remember because it's like a very unique game
Hmm.
and it's like a spooky time and you guys like get ready to play it. It just seems like that would be something that would be burned into your memory, but
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing that kind of like scared me the most was the fact that I it didn't click in my mind until years later after she married him. I was like, dude, like that thing told you were gonna marry a Jose. And she's like, really? That's
Wow,
crazy.
that's crazy.
that
So,
is.
and that marriage didn't go very well either. So she ended up getting a divorce too, but it was crazy.
Huh.
I was like,
Close those Ouija boards.
yeah, like I don't know.
Maybe that's
But
that's all it is people mess with them and then they don't know how to like whatever you
Yeah.
said, like say goodbye or close it out and
mhm.
they just throw it back in the box and throw it in the attic and it's still open.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think that's the only experience that I've had. There was another experience that I kind of wanted to talk about because it's pretty creepy.
Oh,
I don't
sweet.
know if you guys have heard of the Black Eyed Kids.
Oh
Oh.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you want to talk about that one?
Okay. So we were driving home, right? It was like 3 a.m. It's always 3 a.m. So
Oh yeah.
so
It was late for
yeah,
sure.
it was
Past
late.
everybody's bad time.
Absolutely. There was nobody outside. So we were like we stop at a red light. We're like the only car there. There's nobody else.
Okay, but we were listening to Coast to Coast.
Oh yeah, we were. We had just
Oh,
heard like
cool.
Black Eyed Kids stories, right? And so yeah, we stop at this red light and there's nobody there. And we turn around to like the house on our right, and there's like a little kid who's knocking on this door, and we're like, no.
Nope.
We're like, what is this child? What could he possibly be doing at this time outside knocking at a door? And then she's like, what if it's a black eyed kid? And when she said that, he turned around to look
Nope.
at us.
Nope.
And I was, and no way he could have heard us because our windows were rolled up. We were at a pretty good distance, and we
Yeah.
kind of whispered it to each other inside the car.
Whoa.
Yes.
And at that moment, he turned and looked at us, and we're like, "Screw this light, man!"
Yeah, we ran the red.
yeah.
We're like,
it
forget
was-
this. There was no cars,
It was
but
creepy.
it was. He looked like he was 8, maybe.
Yeah.
That is
Right?
so creepy.
He was little, and so I was like, "Why is there a kid out here?" Like, we got so scared, you guys.
Yeah.
And like when we saw him, we got a weird vibe.
we
it was
did.
like it was like it didn't feel right.
Right.
And so when I looked at her and I whispered, "Oh, what if it's a black-eyed kid?" And then I turned around really quick,
Yeah.
like it hurt us.
Yeah, and I was like,
It was
okay.
creepy. It was creepy. Like I still get chills. Ugh.
Yeah, that was creepy.
Yeah, when you
Yeah.
said that, I had goosebumps so bad that my eyes started watering. I'm like, no, 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 no. Creepy kid standing on a porch at 3 in the
Yeah.
morning. That's just not supposed to
Yeah.
happen.
It was late. It was late. There was no cars out there.
Nobody. And it's like,
So-
what are you doing outside? Like, why are you, like it made zero sense.
Turns
Yeah.
out his
So-
parents just locked him out of the house because he was snoring. or something.
Probably. Hopefully, it wasn't like an evil kid.
But I mean, that moment, like he knew how to turn at the right moment. That was creepy.
That's
know?
creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was pretty weird.
Yeah. And it was-
can't-
It was a cold night too, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know. It was weird. It was weird.
very
So-
So
weird.
we're like, let's not listen to stories like that anymore.
Yeah. Turn off the radio.
I
Yeah.
wonder about that too when people talk about sleep paralysis. I get kind of freaked out talking about it because they say like if you talk about it, it might manifest itself. So
Yeah.
I get creeped out
Um,
about talking about stuff like that.
You know, there was a time where I was so deep into like listening to the paranormal and all these crazy stories.
Mhm.
One night I was asleep, half awake, you know, that when you're about to like go to sleep,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden I hear like 3 really loud knocks in my front door.
Ooh.
And so it woke me up, and I was like, what the heck was that? I was like, oh heck no, I know that's something bad. Like I knew it was bad. And I was like, I don't know what to do. Like I started praying,
Yeah.
and I was like, whatever it is, like you gotta go. I looked at my camera because I have a little camera in the front, and nothing was there. I don't even remember if I could hear the knocks in the camera. But the next day, I think that was a Saturday. The next day was Sunday. I went straight to church and I spoke to the priest. I was like, this is what's going on. I don't want no activity. Like, I don't want no things to come in my house.
Nope.
And he told me what to do, and it worked. So I was like, oh, thank
Oh.
God. I'm good.
Oh, good.
Like, it hasn't happened, thankfully. But, I try to,
Yeah.
I try to stay away, man.
Always trust your gut. That's true.
Hey,
Yeah.
Past Life Explorer. Getting all kinds of familiar faces in the chat here. I want to say hi to North
Oh.
Alabama Cryptid. Good to see you. Past Life Explorer. Good to see you. Got Sunslaver back in here. Awesome. Good to see you. Always good to see you. Walt Corbin is in here.
Walt.
Thank you guys so much. Chasing the Truth with Sean. Thanks, Sean, for being here. Oh, yeah. Paranormal Chop Shop. Oh, and I just looked up and we're at 3333. That is, I've been having a lot of synchronicities lately. I don't know about you guys.
It's been feeling weird lately. Everything that's been going on.
Mm-hmm.
I don't trust it.
What do you
It's
guys
been-
think about the state of the community right now with like everything that's going on with like CERN and then the Georgia stones that were destroyed? What is there a conspiracy behind that stuff, or what do you think?
You know what? I didn't really know about the stones until they
lot
were
of people-
blown up.
Mhm.
I thought they were like because my husband was like, "Oh, some stones got like, blown up," and I was like, "Oh, I think they were like a memorial or something." And then when I went to go research, I was like, "Whoa, this is weird," right? Like, I didn't know about it. Like, it was so controversial, like everything on there and
Mhm.
why they were built. Now it's controversial why they were blown up. I don't know. Like, I think it's creepy. It was creepy. But I don't know how I feel about it. I think it's weird.
Yeah.
I think it's weird, but I definitely feel like weird things are happening.
Mhm.
Um, but can you guys fill me in on the CERN? Because I know they've been talking about it, but I don't know. Is it the flare? Was it a solar thing that was happening?
No, CERN is the thing that's underground. It's that huge loop, and they do accelerated particle testing. And it's they talk about how they could they could somewhat create a miniature black hole
Okay.
situation.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
And so once people in the community started hearing that, it was like game on. Like, this is the new conspiracy. What is this thing doing? And then, there's like connections that people make between when they fire up CERN and when they do their testing, and then like when weird stuff happens when weird stuff happens. So
Mm. Yeah,
it's
like
just
maybe
like
like your phone fails, technology's going weird.
yep, technology goes
People
off
start feeling sick.
yeah, feeling sick, and then just not feeling like you're on
Mhm.
your right vibe.
But
Yeah.
what were some of the craziest things that people were saying might happen? Like people were suggesting what? Like it was going to be the end of the
Oh, that
planet, or
you could create a black hole and everything would just get sucked into it, or you would create another
Mm.
dimension, open up another portal to a different
Mhm.
dimension, and like
and this is happening over in Switzerland, so we don't really know. It's so far away from us. We just go by what we see on the net or on the news.
yeah, and apparently the CERN North America was approved. So now they want to build one
Oh, okay,
here.
so they're bringing it here.
And I guess it's
Hmm,
larger. Jamie
okay.
and Bree from that one time I was abducted by aliens, they covered this. They did a CERN episode, and then they did a rewind of it. Just was it yesterday or the day before,
Yeah,
and they covered it really well.
Yeah,
So
that
that's
was a good
cool.
one.
I'm gonna have to go check it out. Yeah, because I remember something about the little black holes. I think Bob Lazar talked about that a while back. I think when he was like on the show with Joe Rogan, he talked about how they were already mastering
Wow.
the black holes, but
mhm.
I didn't know like who was doing it. So that's crazy.
Yeah, and CERN does a pretty good job. I know Bree was covering this in their episode too, but CERN does do a good job of like taking a conspiracy theory and then breaking it down and telling you like why it's wrong, and then why the people are blowing it out of proportion. So they do, at least they don't just shut the door and they don't communicate with anyone. They do come up with explanations as to like why this isn't creating a black hole that's going to suck everything into and kill everyone.
What? That's
So
scary. Which is, I mean, and that's always been the thing, right? Like that Earth was going to get, taken in by a black hole. If it's not
Wow.
human made, then it was in space or something. That's creepy. That's,
well,
I don't know.
well, the most intriguing part of the episode from Tadiwaba that they were talking about is the fact that they could be creating universes, and even though they're creating them and instantly killing them, and they might not even exist for even a millisecond, but the fact that you're creating a small universe, you technically could be creating like life and whole lifetimes for people. Like, I don't know, it's just interesting to think about how time is just like a human construct and time doesn't actually exist. It's just
Hmm.
like our thing that we come up with. So when you say that you are creating a black hole situation or another universe, and even though it's just for a split second, that split second could be lifetimes for multiple different
That's
beings.
true.
You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So I don't know. That was just a really interesting part of their episode where it's like we could be creating whole universes full of life and killing them, and nobody knows anything about it.
That's
It's just
crazy.
yeah, CERN's interesting the more you dig into it.
And how about the lights in San Diego? Did you guys see that?
Yes, I
The
saw that.
UFOs.
Yeah.
And what do you think about
Weren't
it?
they saying that they were like like no, what is it, flares? Like the military was doing like flare, whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
I
buying
mean,
that?
of course, like
it's
that's what
always
they
flares.
do. Yeah. But
Well,
no, I thought it was
as our Bell
interesting.
listeners, you guys remember the Phoenix lights.
Yes. But
So
like I think there's things under the ocean, and they come out that, or maybe they gather things, they need things. I don't know. Like, um, I think I think it was definitely something that I mean, I don't believe it was the flares, but it looked weird. Like even the lights, like they were weird. And I was
Mhm.
like, no, there's no way. I mean, but of course they
I
covered
think
it up.
I think from now on they should just tell everyone, hey, tomorrow we're gonna be dropping flares.
That ain't gonna happen, dude.
Then they won't have to. I mean, because they already have to answer to the public every time this happens. Every time they drop flares at nighttime without anyone knowing about it, the next day they always have to come out and be like, "That was us. We were dropping flares. It was just a training
Right.
exercise."
Mhm.
How about next time you just tell us the day before, and then you won't have to tell us again. Then we'll know if they're flares or something else that you guys can't explain. It's always interesting that they come up with the explanation after it happens.
Yeah, and even like the UFO report, it was so dumb. Like I read it and I was like, really? Like, how is this even possible? Like balloons or whatever, like particles in the air that kind of, I don't know, what did they say it was? Like some weird explanations. And I was like, this
Yeah.
is dumb. Like, do they really think we're like dumb that we're gonna be like, oh yeah,
But-
it's just a frozen cloud.
Yeah, like the crash here that happened in Dexter, Michigan, just not too far from here. That's when Jay Heineck was like, "Oh yeah, that's just swamp gas. There's gas that comes out of the swamp over here by this farmer field, and
Mhm.
that's what you're seeing. Sometimes it lights up in the night." It's like, okay, dude,
That's crazy.
we're seeing craft in the air, not gas
Yeah.
lighting up.
I don't know. Like it's just but I think it's just people that too, like they don't want to believe or accept it. Like they're just like, no, it's not that. There's no way. We would have known. And so it's like they're so close-minded that they're like,
They're
nah.
in denial.
Yeah, they're in
Mhm.
denial. And then also like if they were to come out and say, yeah, they're aliens, they're here, and we study them, I think people would freak. Like they would,
Mm.
I mean, you saw with, when the whatever happened with this, illness thing,
Mhm.
everybody freaked out.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Couldn't get toilet paper.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Water was gone. Everything was gone. I went to the store. I went to Costco and I was trying to get
Danny.
vitamin C.
hmm
And the guy from Costco was like slipping it to me like if it was drugs. It was so funny. He was like, because I told him I'm looking for vitamin C, and he's like, "All right, just wait right here." I'll go get it." And I was like, "Okay." He's like,
Don't
"Yeah."
tell anyone.
He's like, "Oh, and then go get some." He was just like whispering, like he had it, like he was like holding it, like hiding it.
It's the
And I was
Candyman.
like, "Dude." And he was like, "Oh, and go get some like frozen broccoli and eat that. It's gonna like enhance the vitamin C." And I was like, "Okay, thanks. That's cool."
We're gonna
So
look back, and it's just gonna be so funny to us.
yeah,
we
it was
had to-
funny.
People are hoarding toilet paper and hoarding vitamin C, and
And they were like, "No returns on the toilet paper."
Right?
Yeah, that was
no
crazy,
returns on toilet paper.
though. But
Yep.
no, it was crazy.
We've been
As far as your guys' shows, I mean, one of the things I think I touched on it earlier is that you have like a lot of diverse subject matter. So how do you go about like choosing what you're going to do a show about, and then who does the research, or how do you guys share that process?
You
I
want to
feel
talk
like
about that, Eileen?
it's always so spontaneous.
Yeah.
It's always
So-
like, let's do it on this.
Yes, it's very like random. We'll just be like the Milli Vanilli one. I was just driving one day and I heard one of their songs and I was like, dude, I'm gonna do a show on that. That's crazy. But like, and like recently, I don't know what I was listening to. I was like, I'm gonna do one on the Ark of the Covenant, or I'm gonna
Yeah.
do one. I write them down on my phone.
Or like the Skinwalker Ranch, you were watching the documentary, right?
Yeah.
And same for like the Bob Lazar, right?
Mhm.
And I think Mothman, we had seen the movie and we decided to do it
just
on
do a
that.
show.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, so we're random. Like
Yeah.
and with the research, I kind of do more of the research because she's like, I don't know, busy, I guess.
Yeah.
You see, she feels guilty. Look.
It's like me
But
and Chad. I just let him do everything. I just show up.
I know.
I just show up. There you go. That's her. She's like, I'll just dress up and show up, and it'll be cool.
Danny says, "Hey, want to buy the roll of toilet paper?"
I mean, you guys did a show on Vicente Fernandez. I mean, I know a lot of people probably in
Yeah.
the chat don't know who he is, but I mean, I do.
I don't know. who he
Yeah.
is.
That's the sound of
was-
my childhood.
It was.
Yes,
I
it
feel
is.
like it was something that we need to talk about because it was impactful, right? Like culturally, for like.
Yeah, for Mexico, because
Yeah.
we're Mexican American. Our parents were both born in Mexico.
Right on.
But it's crazy that you kind of like the culture, right? Like it just kind of like our parents know the culture, but it's not as passed down as it should be, And so that's one of the reasons why we're like, oh, let's do the Mayan
Yeah.
side.
And I mean, it's interesting. I think.
Yeah. And so, but our parents, like you said, like with the lechuzas, that was the thing. The lechuzas were witches that turned into owls. Our parents would always talk about that. We would talk about the curanderos, which is the what are they called? The
Like
healers, shamans.
Mhm.
They would talk about like shapeshifters.
Yeah.
So just like different things like that growing up that they would talk to us about and things that they would see.
Yeah. And they would see a lot of scary.
Yeah, because our
things.
parents, they were born, like my mom especially was more rural, like
Yeah,
rural areas in
she
Mexico.
kind of really did have like a gypsy lifestyle where they would move from place to place, and in each place was like a new experience of things that they would see that they couldn't explain. So I feel like there's always been like, with the family, there's always been like connection with ghosts where the majority of them see ghosts, and we've had like our fair share, right, of experiences with ghosts, living in not one but two haunted houses, right? So I feel like we're like, okay, you guys can
It's attracting us for some reason. But so like my grandpa, I don't know. Like we don't know how old he is. Like he has a birth date, but I'm sure he's like 200 years old. And he's like, it's a joke. Like
he's probably 100.
He's like 100. I think he's
real
100.
old, huh?
Yeah. But my mom told us the story about him finding some golden coins in Mexico.
Yeah.
Like they were buried, and he would like go and like like look for treasures, I guess. And he found these golden coins, and he said that he left them there, and he's like, I'm gonna come back tomorrow and take them all. It was like, I don't know how many.
Yeah, there was a lot. I think there was like a whole
little box.
Yeah, like a briefcase worth of like golden coins.
And
one of the neighbors had overheard this conversation between, him and his wife talking about, taking these golden
what they found,
coins.
yeah.
And that person went, right?
Yeah, he went that night.
It.
He beat grandpa to it, and he him and his friend, they dug him out, took them. And the next day grandpa went, and he found just like a couple of coins on the floor. And he's like, oh, they're gone. Somebody stole them. And he was so pissed. And he ended up finding out that those guys died of cancer, both of them. And it was like a weird, random type of cancer. And he's like, oh, estaban encantadas. Like they were
enchanted.
Yeah, they were enchanted.
Cursed.
Or cursed, and they died because of it. So, like things like that we grew up with was kind of like, why?
Mystery.
Yeah.
Why does this happen? Why?
Yeah.
But I think my mom kept one of them. She has one of the coins, which is probably why we live in haunted houses.
Yeah. And my mom, like they used to live by the beach, and she would see ghosts there, right? Women, three women that would be like at their house, just making like things, right? Like working, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, what? Because they were just like, silhouettes. So she's like, she didn't know if she was really seeing this or not, but like, yeah, it was ghosts.
Yeah.
Yeah, they say sometimes the ghost will be stuck in a routine and stuck in like a, what do they call it, spooky? Like a cycle, or where they just keep doing the same thing. It's like a residual haunting where it's just like the same spirit is there and it's stuck doing the same thing that it always used to do. Like you'll see farmers coming in off the field, take their boots off and go upstairs.
I don't want to
It's like
get stuck cooking. I don't want to get stuck washing clothes.
I know. I
But
think about that all the time too. Like I'm gonna get stuck making bolts for eternity. I don't want to do that.
that's crazy. No,
Just
I
be
hope
stuck in the
not.
factory forever.
Do you guys know what state your parents are from in Mexico?
Yeah, Colima. It's
Colima?
called Colima, Mexico. It's
Yeah,
like
on the west
right
coast.
next to Jalisco, and we call it like a little island because it's very
Yeah,
tropical.
it's close to
Mhm.
Michoacan. It is. It's
Mhm.
tropical. Yeah, on the coast, so it's nice.
Sounds nice.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's just, I don't know, it's far.
Because you
But
know
we,
those lights that they saw in San Diego, there were people in Mexico that were showing videos too that they saw the same lights.
really,
Wow.
But not too far in, but
yeah,
about
yeah,
45
probably
minutes
Rosarito.
drive. Yeah, Rosarito and Ensenada, I believe.
Wow.
That's cool. See, so it's not no flares.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's weird. I don't think it was flares, but
I don't either.
yeah.
It's
Did,
just
did you want to
why
share? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
it's just strange that I mean, if they know that they're gonna get that type of reaction from the public, why do they keep doing it in the same places, and why don't they let us know that it's happening? It's just so random because yeah, I don't know. It just seems like one of those things that you would think that they'd get sick of answering it all
No,
the time.
they're still holding on to that ridicule the people, the experiencers. So if you just
Right.
continue to make the experiencers seem like they're crazy, that they're
Mhm.
crazy for even considering the notion or the idea, then that's how they get away with it, and have been getting away with it for many
Oh
many
yeah,
years.
yeah. But I mean, there's been time and time. I feel like they've seen lights in Malibu, the Pacific, right? They've
Yep.
seen lights either in the water, coming out of the water, um, and they're always trying to come up with these weird, like, okay, so our UFO, I feel like we saw a UFO.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it
Mm.
was when we lived in LA, and I thought it was weird. I was like in the middle of like a
Yeah.
populate. Come on.
Yeah.
And so it was weird because it was like really late, and it was like this big old like really big orb, and it was above the houses. And I remember grabbing my camera and I was like, dude, this is an alien. I'm gonna record this. And so it was just there. It was there, and it was weird. It didn't look like
Yeah.
any craft, like, and then a chopper came, and the chopper was kind of like close to it, and I was like, oh look, like something's happening. And then it started shooting like little like
Like,
lights.
yeah, like rays of light.
Yeah.
And the chopper just like left because like it was too bright.
Yeah, it was weird. It was like really
Yeah,
weird, and I
odd.
recorded it, but I still have, you know how back then we had like the little cassettes that
Yeah,
you
the
put in
video
the
recorders.
So I'm trying to transfer those to like what is it, like a, I don't know, CD or something. I don't know,
Mhm.
maybe like, but I'm hoping that I still have it. But grandpa, he would always, the same dude, okay, same
Yeah.
grandpa, he would always like record over all of my videos.
Yeah.
So hopefully he didn't like mess it up. But yeah, I would
Right.
find videos and they would be his recordings over mine. So it's crazy. But yeah, I thought that was weird. It definitely, to me, it didn't look like any airplane. It didn't look like the chopper that was like right close to it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well,
And
it's
it was
just so it's
Uh-huh.
just so crazy that you said chopper because everyone says it seems like 90% of the time when people see an orb or something, here comes the choppers.
Oh, really?
So
I didn't know that.
strange.
Hmm.
But then I've also heard that sometimes they like a real UFO or a light being will disguise itself as something that you can recognize because it's like if we show ourselves as an object that they've never seen before, then they're going to get confused and won't understand what they're seeing. But if we show ourselves as a black helicopter or three
Mhm.
black helicopters in a triangle or something, because I've seen that before too, where there was a sighting and then all of a sudden there's like three black helicopters in a triangle formation flying, and it's like,
Is that
how
why
often do you see that?
Is that why UFOs have changed over the decades, the way they look and what people see in the sky? I mean, how many times do you hear nowadays of people seeing flying saucers like Bob Lazar?
Right.
Or the
Bob
airships?
style.
I didn't even know there was different shapes. I was like, what? There's a cigar shaped one? Like there's
Yeah.
like, I don't know. I thought they were all just little, like sombreros, like flying around.
There's
like
even
a
st-
cat shirt.
Yeah, the Spooky Morales shirt.
Yeah, that
yeah.
one. That's cool.
There's even stories of airships, like blimps, with like baskets hanging underneath them, and people asking for like showing up in town and asking for water. I think that's what they're
That's
asking for, right? They're
weird.
asking for water. But yeah, there's stories of like airships. There's stories of flying saucers, cigar shaped craft. There's like the hat, sombrero, like you just said, the hat
Mhm.
shaped craft. So yeah, like Spooky was just saying, I think that they might be changing the way that they present themselves as the time changes. Because if they show up in 1850 in a Corvette, nobody's gonna know what that looks. Nobody's gonna even recognize what that is. But
That's
if they
crazy.
show up in an
What
airship,
what do your guys' parents and family thinks about your show and the topics that you cover?
I don't know. What do you
Yeah,
think?
that's a good question.
that's a good question.
I mean, I think our parents don't care. They're just like, do what you gotta
Yeah.
do. Like, as long as you're not out there in the street going crazy.
Right?
No, but I think
There's worse things you could be doing.
exactly. I think our families, like, they're very supportive. I mean, we talk to them about like some of the stuff and they're
Yeah.
like, what?
Yeah,
Like,
some of the
that's crazy.
stories, and they're like, "What?" They'll say things like that.
Yeah, and we bring some of them on too. Sometimes, like our older sister, she's been a few times
Yeah, I saw
in
her
our
one time.
show. Yeah, and so
Yeah.
it's pretty cool. Like, yeah, I think they think
We
it's okay.
try, right? We try to have them share like their paranormal stories, right?
Yeah, which is one of the reasons why I'm like, dude, we should do like a Spanish one because we've tried the Spanish one. We've tried to do like Spanish ones here and there, but I don't know. Like I feel because a lot of like Hispanic, especially in Mexico, there's some
There's-
crazy
yeah.
story. The duendes, I don't know if you guys know what that is.
Mhm.
The little people, the little, the what is it? The
What
trolls,
Yeah,
like
trolls.
little
Oh,
weird
okay.
trolls that like take kids, or
Like
they scare
fairies
you.
or like
No, they're more like
dwarfs, like
dwarves or like little trolls that they run around and like our parents have had a lot of experiences with them when they were kids, especially because they lived in
Or,
like
like-
rural areas.
a big one, the chupacabra, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, we had him visit once
yeah.
our home.
And
It's
Had
the
him
same.
visit
No, wait,
once?
that's the other home. Huh?
Yeah,
You
He
had
had
them visit your house?
He visited our
Yeah,
house once.
he killed all our animals.
He did. That's what we think it
What?
was. That's what we think it was because there was no other
told you.
explanation. And our parents were like, my dad. So that was when it was big, right? Like it was
Yeah.
everywhere in the news. And my dad was
Uh-huh.
like, hey, let's just like, he was like drinking. He's like, I'm going to draw the chupacabras. And he started drawing it, right? He like drew it like really cool.
Yeah,
It looked like it had
he's-
spikes and
he's
everything.
Good at drawing.
Uh-huh.
He's an artist. And he like put it on the fridge and he's like, this is nothing but bull, it's not even real. And so he started laughing about it. They were just all, him and his friends were all laughing about it. And that
Yeah.
night we get visited by a creature.
Yeah,
We don't know what it was. I mean, they said my dad's like, oh, it was a chupacabra because I was making fun of him. So one of our uncles, his bedroom was facing the backyard. In the
Mhm.
backyard, we had bunnies, we had chickens. That was it, right? Bunnies and chickens.
yeah, bunnies and chickens.
And
yeah.
so he said he saw like a little orb, or like a little thing. He said it was like 2 to 3 feet.
yeah, chupacabra.
And he said that it ran from like the cages and then it like turned into a little orb. And then it like
Oh.
just floated. And so he said that night, because one of my other uncle, I mean, all of us lived in like
yeah, it was a duplex.
Yeah.
So we all fit. Yeah.
a lot of people.
Nice.
And then one of our cousins is like, I kept hearing all these ruckus in the backyard. I was too scared to go out there, man. Like I wasn't about to go save your animals. And so he like he said he heard it, but we went out my dad went out, and my uncle, the one that saw the orb, they went out, and all of our animals were like mutilated.
Yeah.
Like
Oh my
they
god.
were like torn up to pieces. There was like the heads up in the trees. There was like limbs,
Yeah.
Heads in the trees?
Yeah.
yes.
It was
Like bunny heads
What?
in the trees, like limbs like all over.
chickens on the road, right?
Yes, there was like a chicken like a mile or two away from our house. And so there was no
One-
blood.
Yeah, that was the weirdest part. There was
No drops
blood.
of blood anywhere.
Oh
Yeah.
hell. That's just like the
And that's
cattle mutilations.
and that's the reason why my dad is like, it was a chupacabra. That's what it was, because there's no blood.
Yeah, because the creepy part was that like my dad had these animals in like some metal cages, right? That
There were stainless steel cages
yeah, they
that
were
he
not
made
he made
because he was a welder.
and they weren't easily accessible to animals.
And
to
they
be
were not
able to
accessible
open.
to us because I couldn't open it.
They were heavy, pretty heavy.
Yeah, they
Right.
were like,
I would imagine if a welder built a cage,
yeah,
that some
he
bitch
built
would be
it like
impenetrable.
stainless steel. It was really pretty. They were both really
yeah,
nice.
they were. They were.
So one of
nice.
them, you kind of open it up for like, and that's where the bunnies were, and it was
Mhm.
really big. And then the other one was like a sliding for the chickens.
But they were heavy, right? So you can't say that an animal
Yeah, there
like
was-
opened that.
There was no
Fluffy.
like, there was no nothing, no prints, nothing.
And the fact that they were still in there dead was just like a mystery.
yeah, some of them
Right.
were in there dead, but they were like torn apart. And
That
so
is weird.
yeah, and then I mean, we were kids. My dad's like, "Oh, it was the neighbor's dog, so you're okay. Don't worry about it." And then like he would turn and started telling my uncle, "It's the chupacabra. I told you." And then they're like, "Why were you making fun of him?" So it was crazy. Like I cried. They were my bunnies.
Well, yeah,
We
if
had
it
a
was
lot.
the neighbor's dog, there'd be blood everywhere. The dog would have blood all over the
dogs are
place.
messy.
Yeah,
The
But
dog would be
no,
all
like-
tired from tearing up all the animals. He'd be sleeping the rest of the day. And
till this day,
Yeah.
like I asked my uncle, this the one that saw it, and he's like, "Yeah, I saw it, and it was really weird." He's like, "It was just like running really quick, and then it turned into a little ball, and it left." And I was like,
Mhm.
"So kind of like Sonic, like
Yeah, like Sonic.
I don't know."
oh, that's a
But-
good point. Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, and so I don't know, he stands by it. He's like, "I saw what I saw. I'm not crazy."
I
I was like,
believe.
How
him.
about the because some Jeanette in the chat, she just asked, how about La Llorona? What's your stories or your family's stories about La Llorona?
Well, I had an uncle that he says he saw her.
Oh yeah.
And it wasn't just him, it was like a few guys that were all like out. I guess they used to have like a banana field,
Yeah,
right? They
they
would
were
like work
working.
there.
Mhm.
And so he said that they saw this really beautiful woman, like a girl. She was like in a see-through dress, long black hair, and she was just walking right by them. And they all stopped and they were just like mesmerized. And he said that they started arguing on who was gonna hit on her. I'm like, no, I saw her first. I saw,
They were
and so
were
they,
trying to get first dibs.
yeah. So while they were arguing, they turned and she was gone. So they said he's like, that was the Llorona. That's what it was. It was crazy. She disappeared. But it's been a story that's been in our culture for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then
I
when you
think-
guys did the show about La Llorona, and you were telling us, was it your grandfather or somebody would go out in the backyard and they would do like a call? They would like
Oh, like a prayer?
No, I think it was my dad, right? Who would
Oh,
like
my
to-
dad that would scare us?
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
He would like to scare our guests.
Yeah, because the house that Eileen, because we used to live together. We don't live together anymore. I live, now I got married. I live with my husband. Eileen still lives with my parents. Our
Mhm.
parents' house is haunted,
Yeah, it is. It's
and
haunted.
so the backyard there's a big canal, and so we would have family from out of town, LA, different Fresno, everywhere. We have family everywhere. They would come over and go
and
ahead.
he would from the darkness he would
in
be
the
like-
canal,
he would scare guests and be like, "Ooh, soy la llorona."
and he would do that. Yeah, he
He
would
would
do that
scare
all the
them.
time. And so like people like would get scared. They're like, dude, like your house is haunted.
Yeah,
And
we heard her.
yeah, but
Whoa.
yeah, but it's always been like a big thing, like even for now, like now our parents would be like, if we go to the river, make
Yeah.
sure that you like do this prayer on your child because the Llorona can keep its spirit. Or, it's always been very like superstitious and very, like
Mhm.
they believe in things like
Yeah.
that. And
Hmm.
so, we would be scared. We'd be like, oh my gosh, the baby. Like, but yeah, it's been something that we've all grown up with, and I don't want to see her or hear her. I'm good.
Yeah.
Right.
That's scary.
I'm good. I pass.
I think
But
with
I'm gonna have Eileen tell you guys our haunted house story because
oh yes.
that one's the best one, I think.
Yeah.
And
Well, I mean, the other haunted house was crazier, but this one, I think it's creepy because we literally found facts on like that it legit things
Okay.
happen there, right?
yeah, because so you guys know I told you guys I worked at the homeless center.
Right.
There was a guy there that worked with me. He was like an older man. And he's like, hey, you live in that house that is haunted. Like there was a murder there. And I was like,
Whoa.
what? I was like,
Yeah.
So you didn't know
wait.
there was a murder there before this guy
No.
said that?
No, we bought the house. My parents asked, did anybody die
Well,
here?
yeah,
Because
but I guess they don't tell you, right? If it's 7 years,
right.
right? Like they
Yeah.
have like a 7-year
No,
gap.
they don't have to.
They don't have to
Yeah.
disclose it. But
Mm.
so
Because it happened in the 70s.
yeah.
So it had been
So
a while.
he told me, he's like, yeah, there was a murder in your house. Here's the name of the guy that died there. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna look this up. You're lying. I looked it up. Our house showed up. There was a picture. There was like yellow tape, and there was like the whole crazy
Yeah,
stuff.
the whole newspaper article, and we're like, wow, this is legit our address. Like it
Wow.
really did happen here.
Yeah.
So I would say the creepy part was, we were remodeling the living room where this happened. And so let me tell him what happened. So the son shot his father with a shotgun when the dad was sitting on
In the recliner.
yeah, in the living
Oh,
room, and he just walked in and shot him with the shotgun.
Yeah, like right on the head. Like
Yeah.
Mhm.
holy smokes.
So prior to finding this out, we were remodeling the house, and we were removing the carpet, and then we found the old carpet, right? Like the 1970s carpet, and it had like these big stains.
Oh,
And we're like,
hell
oh,
no.
they dropped something,
It's wine.
It's dirty.
This
So
was
then
fine, man.
somebody dropped
Yeah.
a bottle of wine
and we remove the carpet, and we get down to like
the
the
cement.
cement, and there's these huge, stains.
Yeah.
And
That-
we're like, that's weird, but they probably dropped something, And
That's weird. Let's just pour
yeah, let's
some
just put tile.
tile on it.
So
Yeah.
so now it just all made sense when we connected it to the story, and we're like, wow, we literally just saw this, the
murder
crime
scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was crazy, and like I told my parents were so pissed off. They were trying to sell the house. We were trying to sell the house. Okay. That's
Yeah.
how much my
Yeah.
mom is like serious about.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so we tried to sell it for some reason. We couldn't get rid
Yeah.
of it. So my
Probably because
parents were
people
like,
were Googling the address.
yeah, my parents were like, you know what? Whatever. If he wants to live here, that's fine. I'm done. And so
And he would live there
yeah,
because
people
he
would see him.
every night he would open their room and go, like he was going to
creepy.
sleep, to his bedroom. So he would always open their door.
Wow.
Yeah, but it was to us like it wasn't like we didn't think it was haunted. We would just thought, oh, this is an old house, like the doors swing open, the air is coming through, like
Yeah.
people would hear things, but we would brush it off as like, no, that's nothing. It's just the
Yeah.
cats outside.
Yeah.
And then some of our family that would spend the night in that room would feel them like being touched,
Mhm.
or they would feel the heavy energy.
Yeah, like our 90-year-old grandpa would see him all the time.
Yeah, grandpa, the same grandpa.
Yeah,
He
our
would see.
same
He's very
grandpa.
like I think in tune
Yeah.
because he would see him all the time, and he would talk to him, and he'd be like, "Hey, what are you doing?" He would think it's my dad.
Yeah.
He would think it was my dad, and he would talk to him. And so
Oh.
he said he would get up and then go to the room, which is the room where he would always open
Yeah.
the door. But so basically, his wife was having an affair
Yeah.
with a man actually in San Diego, and he so she would go out there, and they started planning how to murder him
Yeah.
because they wanted to take his
Life insurance,
life insurance
money.
money. So, of course, they didn't want.
Dookie, do you still have me?
Yeah, I'm
Can
still
you guys
good.
hear us?
Oh,
Yeah,
just
you guys
broke
just
up.
buffering just a little bit. So go back
That
to
sounds so
life insurance
crazy.
money.
Can you guys hear us?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Oh.
we might have to. Yeah,
there was
it
a
should be good
second when you
now.
were buffering.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah, you're
But
back.
if you
now.
if you can go back to that part about the insurance money, they were trying to plan a murder.
So yeah,
for
they were
insurance money.
trying to get the insurance money, but they didn't want to get their hands dirty. So
Mhm.
they basically, this kid, he was 16, and they told him, you know, this is what's been going on. Your dad's an evil man. He had a little sister. He said they told him that he had been molesting the little sister, and that he needed to do something to protect her. And
Mhm.
so they gave him the gun. It was like a big shotgun.
Mhm.
And the guy that I worked with, he's like, well, he was my friend from high school. And that night before the murder, he was showing me the shotgun. And I was like, this is crazy.
Whoa.
And so he said that he had told him, like, yeah, it's my dad's gun, but I don't know. I don't think I'm going to see you. Or I don't know. It was weird. He said that he was acting really weird. And so the next day is when he saw the tape, because I guess he did it in the morning. He went in there and shot him, and he died, of course, instantly. But he went to prison. The mom went to prison, and I think
Mhm.
the boyfriend did too. They all went to prison, and I
Wow.
think he was going to be released when he was 40. So I think I read on it and I looked it up. Yeah. So I think by now he's already out,
yeah.
but I don't know. It's crazy. But yeah, like, so after I found all this out, I went to church and I had a
Back to
mass on.
church.
I was like, dude, I told the priest, I was like, can you please like come to
Yeah.
the house, handle this, right? And then
Mhm.
like do a mass. So I don't remember, Mr. Peel was his name. He can like rest in peace. And so
Yeah.
we did that, and that helped. That helped a lot. And so we kind of told him, hey, you gotta go, like, go to the light.
Right.
And so
Get out of here.
yeah, but I don't think we've had any crazy experiences. Like, he never was an aggressive.
Yeah, he wasn't aggressive, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
he
has.
wasn't.
It's
John,
It
John.
Yeah.
has. Yeah, it has definitely.
Yeah, after we did that, like the activity, I felt like it dwindled, like, or maybe it's gone. I don't know. I've never had any experiences there, but
Yeah, I mean, it's still creepy to be in the living room, so
Yeah.
I just, try to avoid it.
yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's cool that you guys thought to talk to the priest and have him come over and
Yeah,
see what
he
he could
came
do.
over. Yeah, and I think that helped, and I
Mhm.
think hopefully he crossed over and he's not there anymore.
Yeah.
Which I don't think we've had anybody else tell us anything about it anymore.
I cannot believe that you guys were pulling up carpet and there's blood stains. I would just be
Yeah.
freaking out. Like, is this a nightmare? Is this really happening?
Yeah, I think my dad saw it and he was just like, "Oh, it's okay, like it's nothing." And I think he knew. He knew what it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah,
But
just
we
didn't
were
wanna...
like, he's like, "I think a dog peed a lot in that area." And I was like, "Oh, okay." Which that room became my room. That's where I would
What?
sleep. And then, but I never had any experiences there. Like I never.
Did you, at the time, did you believe your dad where it was just like dog pee, or did you know
Yeah,
too?
I did.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
I didn't know better. I wasn't into like all this stuff, but
Yeah, I never in a
now,
million years could have slept in that room if I knew that
yeah.
there's
We
blood
had a
back
lot
there.
of people sleep in that room and they were like, "No, this is crazy. Like
Yeah.
there's stuff in here."
But our oldest sister, it was her room as well at some
Mhm.
point, and she would see him.
And she would hear him too,
Yeah.
yeah.
She would say that she would just like at night wake up and just see like this silhouette looking at her, like a silhouette of a man, and she would like it would creep her out. So
Wow.
but we didn't really see him, right?
I didn't see him. We had a
No.
dog that like hated that room.
Yeah.
She would bark at it all the time. And then I took like some pictures. I was trying to take some pictures,
Mhm.
but I don't think I captured anything. And then I tried to do an EVP too, but then I got scared. I was like, no,
yeah.
stop. Not in my house. I don't want to hear anything.
Definitely think
That was
animals
it.
can see stuff that we can't see.
Yeah, they
So
Yeah.
do.
dog,
They do.
yeah,
I
the
had
dog
a
barking
cat
at the
too.
room.
And the cat, I feel like the cat was more sensitive than the dogs were. Because the cat
Mhm.
would just be there and then it would just start looking around and then it would look at a spot and just like hiss. It was weird.
Yeah, and it's interesting because none of them like to spend a good amount of time there. Like I have 2 dogs, and they'll chill in the living room for a little bit, but then they'll leave. Like nobody wants to stay there for like an extended amount of time. So
Hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, cats are weird too. I've had a cat where it just stares up at like a corner of a room, and you're like, "What do you?
What are you? Yeah.
Stop that! Stop communicating with whoever's in the corner."
That's creepy.
I just saw a video. It was either on TikTok or one of the Facebook videos where there's this little like toddler, and he's walking in between the bathroom and the hallway of the house, and he's just like he's talking to somebody in the bathroom, and the mom's like, "Who are you talking to?"
Oh, I've seen that.
And
Oh,
that because you can't get a 2-year-old to act like that. I mean,
no.
when a
That's
2-year-old is
scary.
acting that way,
Yeah. Do
it's
can
very
we
authentic.
can we share another ghost story?
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't
Honey's
think
like,
anyone is awake.
she
for
doesn't
the
want to
after party.
leave.
Keep
She's
it
like,
rolling.
I know. So the house that we lived in prior to that one, I
the
feel like
other haunted
yeah,
house.
it had more energy and it was a little more like aggressive, like it was a little more negative.
Yeah, that
there.
one was aggressive.
So at that house, like it just reminds me because we basically grew up there, and she was saying that when I was little that I used to see the ghost that was there, right? Like
Mhm.
he would be in the bedroom and
My bedroom. It's always my bedroom.
yeah, and I'm like, no, I don't want to go in there. The little boy is in there.
Yeah, she would always say
Right?
that. And I remember like she's like she was talking and then all of a sudden she's like, "No, I don't want to go play with you." And she closed the door. And then I didn't
Oh,
realize it until like a little bit later. I was like, "Wait, did you say you were going to play with someone?" And she's like, "Yeah, there's a little boy in the room. He was telling me to come play, but I didn't want to." And I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, heck no."
And
Nope.
there was this one time that I was in the bathroom and he wouldn't let me out of the bathroom. Like he was like, I was trying to, open the door, get out, and he would just hold the door back, and I was like, at the time I thought it was my older sister. And I'm like, yo, stop, like, let me
Yeah.
out. I just want to get out, and it was creepy because, I was able to like open the door, like where I could see a little crack,
Uh-huh.
but like whoever was on the other side was just pulling it back, and I'm like, I don't want to play, like, stop, and then I like pulled it and there was nobody there. And now
Man,
it was
you guys
just
have had
really
so
creepy.
much. Yeah, you've had so many things happen. It's
I was
amazing.
like, I would tell people I've never had no experiences.
Yeah.
But then I
But-
started thinking about it and I'm like, dude, we had.
Yeah. And our older sister, she
Amazing.
actually saw him in the middle of the night.
Yeah, because
running.
at first we thought it was an imaginary friend,
Yeah.
because she's little, but then other people would say they would see him like like that same uncle that saw the Sonic.
Yeah.
He said that he would see that little kid running, like the shadow of it. It would
Yeah.
run and go into like doors,
Yeah.
So I was like,
Wow.
And then my sister saw him too. So
she would hear it. I feel like Candy, she's more like, which is my older
Yeah.
sister. She's more in tune with like
she is.
she can hear things and see things more than we can. Maybe it's because she played.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, but she's
Do you
always
guys-
had that.
Do you guys think that how kids say that they have imaginary friends, and
Mhm.
parents and family always tell them, you're just imagining that. You're just making that up.
Mhm.
But do you think a lot of these imaginary friends could be spirit,
Yeah,
and
Yeah.
they're actually
Yeah.
seeing them?
I think so.
Yeah.
And like that was a big thing with the duendes, right? Our family, like a lot of our uncles, a lot of my mom's side would see them,
Yeah.
and they would tell him to come play, right?
Yeah.
They would tell him, "Hey, come play or come follow me." And she said that one of her brothers almost got taken by
Man,
the duendes.
do we have stories? Yeah, I just keep thinking about like other stories we have too.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
it's crazy, you guys. Like,
it's-
see,
And
I
it's
don't
so
know.
funny to have you when you were first saying like, "Oh, we haven't really had that many experiences."
Yeah,
And
yeah.
now
No,
it's
we
just, like,
haven't.
more than I've ever heard
We
from anyone.
But and I think a lot of it too is because our family is really big. We have like my
Yeah,
mom
we
had
do. She
15
had siblings.
15
Yeah.
siblings.
Oh,
My dad
wow.
8. So we all kind of like grew up very close knit. Like all of our like
Yeah.
you should see our parties.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
you should
bet.
see our Christmas party. It's crazy. But you know, we just gather all up and then we just start talking about it and we just start sharing and that's where it gets
Yeah, like
crazy.
remember my uncle's house, how they had like a little boy there too who would hide underneath their sink. Remember?
Yeah. That's crazy.
Creepy.
Wow.
Creepy.
Yeah.
I feel like the more that
But-
you talk about it, it brings them closer to us. So like the fact that you guys get together as a family and all share your stories and experiences, I feel like
Mhm.
that brings them in more because it's like, hey, these guys believe in us. And
Yeah, I think so. And our parents are uncles and dad. My dad used to be a hunter. They used to go out and hunt. And I would always ask them, did you guys see Bigfoot? Did you guys
Yeah.
see, portals? What's going on? And they're like, no, we don't see anything. I'm like, damn,
I wonder
we
if
need to
they
go. Yeah.
wonder if they actually did.
Yeah. Well, should we tell? Okay.
Oh,
Should we
You
tell
got a
them the
Bigfoot story? You got a Bigfoot story.
No, I think it was a missing 411 story.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a good one.
I love those.
That's a good
So,
one.
Don't
Our
want to be a
cous-
part of one.
Yeah, because my cousin, so like I said, my uncles,
Yeah,
they're hunters. Like they go out and they
and my
hunt deer.
uncle takes it serious.
Yeah, he takes it
He's
very
passionate.
Yeah. So our cousin, he went hunting with one of his friends, and he's like a seasoned hunter, and he knows all the hot spots. And so he's like, "Hey, we're gonna spend the night." They were going to Yosemite, and so that's a big known place of where people go missing.
Yeah.
And so he said they went
But like it was an area that was like
Off-
less
off the grid.
less touristic, so it was
Yeah.
kind of like more privacy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they stayed there, right? They spent
Yeah,
the
they
night
spent
there,
the
they set
night.
up their
So
tent.
my cousin set up his tent, and his friend, he was sleeping in the camper in the back.
Mhm.
So he said that he was asleep. They fell asleep. It was like night, and he said that the friend, I don't know, let's call him something. I don't remember what his name was. I don't know.
George.
Whatever.
Yeah, we don't even remember.
George. George was like, he said he was asleep and he woke up for some reason that he felt like he's like, I don't know what woke me up. Something woke me up.
Mhm.
He said he woke up and he looked out and he saw my cousin getting out of his tent and he started walking into the
the woods.
woods.
Yeah, in the darkness.
So he thought, okay, maybe he's gonna go use the restroom, whatever. And then he says that all of a sudden, like, he's just waiting and waiting for him to come back, and he wouldn't come back. And so he said that he's like, what the heck? Why isn't he coming back?
Yeah.
So he got out and he started screaming at him, like, hey, come back, where are you?
Yeah.
And he said that my cousin said, hey, what's up? But he was inside the tent.
No, but before that, the tent shook.
No, I think it shook after.
Oh, it shook after. Ugh. That's
So he
creepy.
said that my cousin said, hey, what happened? And so he unzipped the tent and he was inside the tent. And so he was like, what the heck? I just saw you leave. How did you get back? And he's like, I
Yeah.
never left. I was always here. What are you talking about? You're crazy. And so he said that all of a sudden, like, everything starts shaking, like his tent and then his truck, they start shaking. And he's like, I got out, left everything. We got in the truck and we took off. And he said that they went to like a nearby, I don't know what it was, like I don't know if it was like a store or like a hotel. I don't know what it was. and they told him that that area is known for like missing people, and
And it has
it's known,
activity.
yeah, it's known for like weird activity. And so I was thinking, I was like, maybe like something was trying to take one of them and it was
It
trying
was
to
trying to
lure
lure him
them.
in.
Yeah. So it was really weird. And he said that that guy was like, he never went back. His wife said he got home and he was very like distraught. Like he was like, she never seen him like that. So it was
Mhm.
crazy. It was pretty crazy. I was like,
I'm sure you guys are familiar with the astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson.
I don't
Maybe
think.
not.
Mm-mm.
He's I don't know where he was really known for sure, but I know he's on TikTok a lot right now. But anyway, this guy, I heard him explain one time how when they say that the universe is infinite, they mean that it is literally infinite. So that there's literally like a person just like me sitting at a desk somewhere else on a different planet doing the same thing I'm doing, but instead of talking to you, I'm talking to someone else. And there's the same version of you talking right now on a podcast in a different universe to some other person. So like there's like copies of each person doing different things all the time. That's how unlimited the universe is. And so he was talking about how so anyway, that just makes me think that maybe you might have seen like a glimpse of a whole different timeline or a different universe where instead of him sleeping in the tent,
Mm-hmm.
he gets up to go to the bathroom and then comes back.
Yeah.
So it's almost like you saw a different, I don't know. It's just
Like a
that's
different
where I was
him.
thinking. Yeah, like a different
That's
version of
crazy.
him.
Wow.
And for
And
some
that's
reason,
and,
yeah.
and it's possible, it's as well as like people like, I don't know, I think that there's definite like portals that people go missing or they just step into and they don't know how to get back. Because even with the missing 411, you hear stories time and time again of people seeing the people that are looking for them and
Yeah.
screaming at them or trying to get their attention, but they can't hear them,
Right.
especially with kids. And so that's, I don't know, that I find that, and kids, like little toddlers being found miles away from where they were last seen.
Mhm.
That's kind of
Yeah.
sketchy to me. And then Green Berets coming in after, the FBI asking questions,
Yeah.
like all this weird stuff happening. I don't know.
Yeah, it kind of does remind me. Yeah, the same thing Sean was saying, the Mandela effect. Yeah, it's like Mandela effect stuff
Oh,
where
that's
it's
crazy.
just like two different universes might clash or two timelines clash. It's like
It kind of reminds me of I don't know if you've seen the new Doctor Strange movie.
no,
The
I'm
Universe
famously
of
known for not
Madness.
seeing any movies.
Yeah, like that's what it's about, like different universes and you being in different timelines or different, like it's pretty
Yeah,
crazy. It's like, what? Are they trying to tell us something?
I
Do
think.
you
Yeah,
guys
sometimes I
watch?
think they are.
Do you guys watch the Skinwalker Ranch show?
I don't watch the show, no. I've tried to, and I was like, the first season, I was just like, I don't know. Is it good? Do you like it?
I personally I don't like the show itself, but I'm very interested in all the paranormal things that are happening at the
Mm-hmm.
ranch because
Mm-hmm.
those are definitely real. But the show itself is very cheesy and overproduced. They just try to make it like a very interesting show. But it's a lot more like it's a lot more Hollywood production than
Yeah.
actually showing the actual things that are happening there. And
Yeah.
it's like a typical show like that where they just tease you all the way till the end, and then they might show you one little orb in the sky flying away. It's like, but I just wondered what you guys thought about what was happening there, because there seems to be so much activity happening there and around that area. Like we have a new friend. Do you guys are familiar with Carl the Crusher here on YouTube?
No.
Yeah, he's been
He
doing a
lives
lot of.
close.
Yeah, he lives down there in southern Utah, and he's been doing
Oh,
a whole
wow.
bunch of research, looking at the petroglyphs, ancient writings and carvings on the wall, on the stone there, and exploring
crazy.
caves, and yeah,
Very
That's
interesting
so
channel.
cool. I'm gonna have to check them out too, because
Yeah, I would like you guys to check out the work that Carl is doing, Carl the Crusher.
Carl the Crusher. Okay,
Hmm.
yeah, because we did an episode too on Skinwalker Ranch. Man, that place.
Yeah.
I feel like it had more activity when Bigelow got it, right? Does it still? Do you guys feel like it still has activity, as much activity as it did before, or has
That's
it
that's interesting. I wonder if it did. It did kind of seem like it was more
crazier back then?
unexplained.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
for me, I think the whole situation at Skinwalker Ranch is totally sus, because
Hmm.
you're telling me that Bigelow, with all that United States government money that they gave
Hmm.
him to work there, and all those years of doing research and bringing in the top scientists to see what they could find out, then all of a sudden Bigelow's out. He just sells it, right? And we
Yeah.
don't, as a public, we don't get any of that data or any of the findings. So now we got this. I personally, I think the whole History Channel show of Skinwalker Ranch is a whole bunch of disinformation, because
Hmm.
they're so they're so the show seems so campy with the way the scientists are out there shooting rockets in the air, and you already know it's not going to work, right? I mean,
Yeah.
how surprised
I
are we
mean,
that it didn't work? What a surprise.
because
It's
do
like,
you guys
really?
remember when Bigelow had it, how they used to talk about not digging? They couldn't
Hmm.
dig because then
Hmm.
stuff would happen. But
Hmm.
now I feel like they have excavators, they have all kinds of stuff happening. I mean, I don't watch the show, but
And we
it's
saw
not as
everybody saw Bigelow on 60 Minutes. And the reporter asked him, "Do you believe that the aliens are visiting Earth?" And Bigelow said on 60 Minutes, "They've been here forever,
that's crazy.
No, that's not disinformation.
among us."
He knows. I feel like he knows, and he's like, dude, I don't want nothing to do with this.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm out. But I don't know. There's some of the pictures that I saw from Skinwalker Ranch, especially when Bigelow had it and he brought in the team, were pretty crazy. Like the raptor foot, okay?
Yeah.
Did you guys see that?
No.
That was crazy, you guys. I have it on my phone. I took a screenshot of it. And then I tried, because it was the original website where they had all like the pictures and stuff. And so I
Okay.
just would screenshot it because I can't find it anymore. I was trying to find the that old website and I can't find it. But they also had like a portal, like a big circle, and you can see entities like coming through. Like
Yeah, that
it's
was the creepy part.
yeah, it was.
Really?
And then yeah, the one up top, and then they had some like it was really weird.
Yeah, like I think that's probably like, out of all the ones that we've covered, I feel like that's been like, it's always been very interesting, but like
Yeah.
creepy at the same time. And
Mhm.
like just like the stories that like they have, and how you cannot explain it, or you can't even come to like picture what these creatures are, right?
Mhm.
Like I remember there was one where they said they saw this portal and they saw like kind of something with,
Like some hands kind
yeah,
of
like,
reach out.
yeah, and I'm like, what, how do you even explain that? You know
That's
what I mean?
crazy.
Like that's just
Right.
like mind-boggling. Like I would be like
I
in
think I would
shock.
be out too. I'd be like, I'll sell it
I'd
to
be like,
you.
okay, I'm done.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's creepy.
Um,
And there was another story, right, about like a wolf.
Oh
that
yeah, the
they-
wolf that
yeah.
bit the little calf.
Yeah, that
when
they
when the
kept-
original owners were there. Well, I don't know what they were called. The
Mhm.
Millers? I don't remember what they
I
were
don't
That
called.
sounds familiar. Something like that.
Yeah, and this big werewolf, like dire wolf looking thing comes out and he's all friendly, and then it just bites like the face of like one of the little calves they had.
Yeah,
Like,
I think
and
that I think that some
they
people
shot
were
at it.
implying
Yeah,
that some people were implying that might have been a Skinwalker.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's
Yeah.
what they were trying to say, because they shot it and nothing happened.
Yeah, nothing
Like
would happen to it.
I don't know.
And
There's
it's just like, how do you explain the things that go on? I don't blame them for leaving. I mean, I feel like you would lose your mind, right? Trying to figure it out.
That's true.
It's pretty creepy.
Mhm.
Jump ship. I don't
right?
know.
Because didn't something happen to them when they were inside living in their house?
Yeah, it would
too?
mess with them, whatever.
Yeah.
And do you know what? Like one of the weird things too was that the people, the owners, the rancher that lived there, he would hear voices in the sky. Like he would go
Crazy.
outside and he would hear them whispering like up in the sky, and then they would just shut up when he would like step out, and then he would hear them again. Like I don't know.
How do you deal with that? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Things like that. I don't think it would bleed, huh?
I heard that they shot one and it, like a little piece of it fell,
Mm-hmm.
and that it smelled like rotted, like it smelled really bad. Like I don't know.
Weird.
Yeah, I did crazy research into like
Yeah.
Skinwalker Ranch when I was
Yeah.
trying to like. So I was like, dude, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, when
and
that
then
first came
yeah,
out, the whole Skinwalker story, the Skinwalker Ranch story, I feel like everybody was like, "What is that?" Everybody dug in and tried to find out as much
But
as they
even
could.
yeah, even now people try to go, and check it out because
Yeah.
it's very common to see UFOs and little things like around the area.
hmm
And I was like, man, we should go. We should just maybe like park miles and miles and miles away from it, but at least we'll know we were close.
Well, that's the thing is even surrounding properties like there's another
Oh.
ranch there, the Blind Frog Ranch, which is also another series now on TV. The Blind Frog Ranch also has a lot of weird, unexplained, strange stuff like that happening too. So I feel like if you were just in the general area, maybe do some
Yeah,
sky
you'll get
watching.
kicked out.
hmm
That's crazy.
right. And then
Yeah.
also like how it would mutilate their cattle, right? And
animals.
like how
Mhm.
precise like the lines were.
Yeah, like laser almost.
Yeah, and
Yep.
I was telling her like the other day, to me it seems like they were like trying to get into some portal, right? And I feel like that's why like the
Oh,
line
like the
was-
portal
that's
closed
why like
and
it's
they
so
cut their hand.
precise. I don't know.
That's scary.
I'm like, how else do you explain things like this? You know?
That's
Mm.
the thing is we just don't have any. Us humans, we just don't have any explanation for it. I mean, there's nobody.
But our ancestors
The-
wrote it on the wall, on the stone. They wrote it in the
true.
caves. You can see it when Carl and points it out. And our friends Kashi Chris, Alien Girl, they all went over there, and they took pictures. They took videos of the petroglyphs, and the stories are told for us. The question is, how do we interpret them?
This is Carl the Crusher's channel, and this is one of his recent videos. They're at the glyphs there where they're checking out the petroglyphs, but they also have a meter there that's like going off
Oh
the chart.
heck no! What is that?
That is creepy.
I'm gonna turn it up a little bit, but they have a lot of wind noise. But this meter that
And then up here,
Charlie Boy is holding,
once again,
I think that's his
Charlie
name,
Boy.
Charlie Boy, right? Yeah.
You got it.
sorry about the wind, is the ladder with a tree. You see this in Samaria with the Anunnaki. It's also, I don't know, look at that. It looks like a ladder, a tree.
Going up.
Look at this, we found chunks.
Oh, that's another thing is there's chunks all over the place of is it amethyst or selenite? I think it is.
Selenite was the last video we saw. Yeah.
All over.
This is the type of
Hey man, do you see any of the petroglyphs that have to show the swirls, the swirlies?
Oh, that's in another video. Let me see.
Because I believe that when they're showing those swirl petroglyphs, I think they're trying to show some sort of portal that they're witnessing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the right here. This is it right here.
Man, you're good, Jamie.
on the ridge,
I'm getting better.
and there's these two
There it
spirals
is. Spirals.
going this way,
Mm-hmm.
this way, clockwise spirals right here, and then you have this symbol here.
This is all Carl the
Yeah.
Crusher's
And
footage.
look, when you sit
Go
right here,
Subscribe to Carl the
look at the
Crusher.
window. You sit right there and look at the mesa from a safe spot, hidden up here, right? If you were scared of something happening on the mesa or coming in and out, or whatever you were witnessing, you can almost imagine primitive people sitting here from a vantage point and watching it. and drawing this. I just want to illustrate
Contact you about your
the
car.
amount of archaeological
car's
evidence
warranty.
here. Look at the ancient pottery.
Yeah, there's pottery everywhere too.
Evidence of arrowheads and tool making.
Are you serious, man? It's almost like it's intentionally left there for you.
laying right
Especially
on the
that
surface
piece
of
right
the
there.
ground.
Yeah.
Look,
Where
here you
is
go.
Carl.
this?
Look at
This is in southern Utah on the Unita. How you say it? Unita Basin.
Incredible.
Unita?
Yes, Unita Basin.
Oh, hi, Irene.
pieces.
Watching us right now from Tokyo, Japan.
Oh,
Hi, that's
cool.
awesome.
Hi.
Arigato.
You have to be so careful where you can step. The ground is just completely.
Wait, and you're not allowed to take any of this?
Oh no, this is all sacred.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Super sacred. Yeah, he doesn't even he won't
Touch
really
it?
share the exact location
Oh, okay.
because you know how the internet is nowadays. If you,
Yeah,
you s-
you'll go. People will
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
I think that if I was to find little things like that, I'll freak. I'll be like, oh my gosh, this is crazy.
but he did say
Yeah.
that this is an area where there's like a hiking path and people walk by this stuff all the time and don't know anything. They don't,
That it's there.
people just don't
Wow.
even think about it. Yeah.
That's
I mean, there's people
crazy.
probably walking on top of pottery pieces all the time and they have just no idea what they're walking through.
My dad, he works up in the Sequoia in the mountains,
Oh, cool.
and he works for this old mining. It was like an old mining place,
Yeah.
but it was like now it's a private resort. It's like privately owned by an association, and so he maintains the place. But they found like a lot of like Indian artifacts and like different things, and they just have them there like displayed in their
Mhm.
little like in this big hotel that they have.
Yeah.
But
the
yeah, that place is
lodge.
haunted too.
It's haunted. And I've actually like heard the ghosts.
Yeah, that place was built in 1902.
Yeah.
1902, yeah. So, and that was the place where the men would, go sleep and eat, and they had a brothel up
Yeah,
top
on the
because it's a
third
big
floor.
hotel. It's like a hotel, like
Wow.
yeah. And so Eileen would go sometimes,
Yeah.
work with dad, and she would,
Yeah, over my summer
Hear
breaks.
yeah,
Yeah,
people.
and yeah, I would hear people, and it's it's a remote location, right?
Yeah.
There's you don't really get people there unless they book it,
Mm.
because it's privately owned for the most part, and I would be in the kitchen and I would hear people talking outside. And even like
Oh.
I even heard a baby crying, and I'm like, what? I was so excited. I'm like, guests are here. There's never guests. I'm like, this is so cool. I gotta go see them. And I
Yeah.
go outside and there's no one. And I'm like, what? Like I
Yeah.
was like,
it's
like, what?
crazy. It's a
Yeah.
vibe there for sure. Like it's a creepy little.
It is.
And they have bats and everything.
And then like, after that, I kind of disregarded it. Okay, whatever. And then they have like this little storage area, and I went in there and I heard two men talking on the second floor. Right? And I'm like, what? Again? So I step outside and there's no one there, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm losing it. I'm just
Right.
hearing stuff.
You're crazy.
Yeah.
No.
But,
Yeah, like how many times in my life am I gonna think that I'm crazy? And this stuff keeps happening.
Yeah. So
But
yeah,
I feel like
think
it's because
there's
you guys are open to it, and you're I feel
They're
like
not only
people-
open. They're not only open to it. I'm telling you right now, these young ladies are old souls. Many, many times over. I felt it the first time I saw them. I heard them talk, and I knew it from the first time. I said, they've been around.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm sure
You
your family's probably told you that.
Yeah, I don't want to like hear anything
You don't
else.
wanna-
I think I'm good now. But
Oh,
Yeah.
had a lifetime of
enough
experiences.
ghost encounters.
yeah, we're good. Like,
We're good,
So,
thanks.
so what your next show's coming up? Like, what is the topics that you guys are most interested in right now? Like, what do you think you're going to work on next?
you know what? I was like, let me see, because I think I wrote some down, but definitely I wanted to kind of get into some more spiritual stuff,
Yes.
because
'Cause it's
I'm
all
scared.
spiritual.
Yes, I'm scared, and I'm like, I need some God vibes.
Right on.
We'll use Connor's overlay. It's all connected.
Yeah, because I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I'm getting too deep, and I'm like, I need to kind of like come out and just not don't. Mm. Oh,
I
you
feel
know what
like
I
if you
want to
get into
talk
this,
about? I want to talk about the dark side of the moon. I didn't know we had a dark side of the moon.
Oh yeah.
So I
Well,
think I might
it's
do
the
that.
side that they don't show us.
Dude, I was like, wait, what? Like the moon doesn't rotate? I didn't know that. And so I was like, I'm gonna talk about that. That's crazy. So yeah.
hmm I feel like we need to get Irene on the show one of these days
Yeah,
from Japan.
Yeah.
that would be amazing.
Mhm.
So Irene, check your messages because Cassie might be booking you soon.
Awesome. Yeah, but that's where we're at, you guys, and
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see how it goes and where we
Well,
go.
this,
Spontaneous.
yeah. Well, this has been an awesome conversation. I have to admit, I was kind of nervous, like Spooky
It's
was
been
saying.
casual.
Been
Yeah,
very
it has.
cash.
Yeah,
Yep.
we've enjoyed it, and it's fun. It's definitely fun. You've
Yeah,
had
it
fun,
was
right?
cool. Yeah.
I know I have some of my friends, some of our followers sending me messages like, "What? Eileen is talking."
Yeah, it's been really interesting.
Yeah, she's shy for the most part,
Yeah,
but
but
she's cool now.
yeah.
Oh, you guys
Yeah.
did awesome. I mean, we really, really appreciate it too. I mean, I know our show's a little bit later, so I mean, you got kids, so I know it's a little bit inconvenient. So thank you so very much.
Yes,
Really
thank you.
appreciate
No,
it.
we appreciate it. Yeah, we're always, up to like going on to other people's shows or having people come over and
Yeah.
talk because it's fun, and I like to hear other people's stories as well. And so I'm always down.
Well,
Yeah, it was
we're about building a family here, building a community.
Yes.
So we consider you guys fam now. So hopefully we can have you back. And I
Yeah,
would love
totally.
Sunny to meet you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and hopefully you guys can come on our show sometime too.
100%. We will be
Yep.
there.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Definitely.
Well, I'm gonna check out and thank you guys for having
Thank
us. And I'll
you.
probably, if you
Alrighty.
guys are still on after, I'll probably say hi in the chat and be in
Okay.
there for a little bit.
One more
All right.
question. Who makes your headphones? I'm a tech
Do you
guy.
really?
I got to know.
Do you really want to know where we got them from?
They look awesome.
Dude,
They have a cool
tell 'em.
shape to them and everything.
We got them from this store. It's called Five Below. They were
Really?
like $5.
Yeah.
$5.
Yes.
See, man,
Yeah.
What am I doing wrong? I'm
Do they
spending
sound good?
Yeah, they
We're
sound
like
cool.
we're trying to get quality headphones.
Yeah, we were like, dude, we need to get
We were
real
like
stuff.
we were trying to get some Bruce Lee
They look awesome. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I really like them.
Yeah,
So,
it's
sound
a
good.
cool story. Yeah, especially because I was like, dude, we're on a budget here, okay?
Yeah, we
So-
don't know what we're doing. We're starting off, but it's been fun.
It's
right?
been 2 years, but we're starting off.
I'm looking at your equipment and it looks so awesome,
It
right?
does. Yeah, very.
I'm like, that
very
would be
professional.
so cool to have microphones like that.
Well, I mean, don't let me fool you. There's payment plans for a reason. So all this
Yeah,
stuff is on.
$33 a month on Amazon.
Wow.
No interest.
That's cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, talk to
It's
us. We can
really good
hook you up.
sound quality though, right? Like it
Yeah,
sounds,
you
it
guys
sounds
sound
really
crisp.
good. Yeah.
You guys don't sound bad either, to be honest with you.
Mhm.
Oh, that's
I
cool.
agree.
Yeah, this microphone was expensive. It was a gift. My husband gave it to me. He's like,
How
"All right,
about
you want to?"
how about that thing about buffering? Is your computer plugged in with an Ethernet, or are you just going straight Wi-Fi? Like, do you
It's
have a hard?
Wi-Fi.
Oh, okay. Because I'm just going to give you a little advice. Sometimes plugging into an Ethernet, it gets
Mm-hmm.
away from all that buffering.
Yeah, I'm gonna
You
have
know-
to do that because it happens a few times. Yeah, I think
Mm-hmm.
we lose the connection and then it's just like whatever.
It just
I'm gonna
takes
do
away
what I
the
want.
frustration of when it happens. You don't have to worry about it anymore.
Yeah, so just straight connection. Okay, I'm gonna try it.
From
I'm
the
gonna try
router
it.
to the computer.
Landline.
Yeah.
Yep.
That sounds cool. Thank
Oh,
you.
what's up,
We
DJ?
Appreciate that.
Definitely.
All right. Well,
Well, thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank
We'll
you.
talk
Have a
to you
great
again soon.
night, everybody.
Good night. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Dude, I told you. I told you, man. This was my booking. I'm going to claim it. I love casual conversations with G and A.
Great job. Awesome booking.
They got a lot of stories, man.
Yes, they do.
And
I was
wasn't
kind of shocked.
I knew who they were. I'd seen
Mhm.
their shows, but I was even surprised by how much they brought.
And they're so I like their name because you can use it all the time. It's so
Right.
casual how they're just like, yeah, well, you haven't really had that many experiences, and then 2 hours later, you've heard like 40 different experiences. It's like, holy
I have
smokes,
to
that
wonder what
family.
other guest has brought more content. Right?
Yeah, it was a really good conversation. And like I told you, I was kind of nervous because I didn't know what to bring and what to ask and what to talk
Mhm.
about, but it was no dead air and did good. Did good.
Thanks, man.
Very good. Very
What
good
time is
job.
it? We are
Oh, we got about 9 minutes left of chillins.
I
Kind of-
invited Big Willie, but he said that he was taking care of another show, and he said that he would join us on the after party.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, we were supposed to have a couple other guests coming on for the second hour of the show, but I think they passed out,
Well, yeah,
which is
They both
understandable.
yeah.
Totally understandable. And Eric, I wish Eric could join us from Paranormal Chat or Paranormal Highway, but he is
Mhm.
unfortunately under the weather. I feel like we could end the show with his cartoon. Does that sound cool?
We can do that, but do you want to, before we end the show, do you want to talk anything about the buy a coffee, become a member, talk about how you can get access to the after party?
Yeah, I have a hard time asking for donations, but I know that's just part of the process. So, guys, we do have this. All says my podcast, but it gets you the same thing. Sonny actually has a buy me a coffee set up for the Chop Shop, and I think we do have the same tiers. So for $5, you get a monthly shout out and a sticker sent to your house. And then for $10 a month, you get the same benefits as the first supporter tier, but you get the shout out, the sticker, and then you also get a private invite to an after party show, which is something that we do after this show when we go off air. We hang out backstage just like this, but we have a panel of just crazy partiers that want to hang out and talk about the week, and kind of it's like just a more laid back off air conversation, and nothing gets talked about afterwards. What happens? Oh, you're muted, Spooky. Sorry. What happens in the after party stays in the after party.
I was gonna say sometimes we play music since we don't have to worry about the copyright.
Yeah, absolutely. Play a bunch of music. So it's the same link as this one, but I think it's just Chop Shop. So it's buymeacoffee.com/Chop Shop. If you want to join, we'd really appreciate it. I can't get the notifications, unfortunately. So Sonny will, and he's up in the mountains hunting. He's going to get some notifications for if you join. But we'd really appreciate it if you want to check that out. It's buymeacoffee.com/Chop Shop. And yeah, so the $10 donation every month gets you the private invite for the Chop Shop after party show. What else, Spooky? What else can we plug? We've got merch too. If you go to chadsmithpodcast.com, there's merch there for the morning show and also the Chop Shop. And Spooky Morales has some merch on there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thanks, John, for subscribing. Appreciate that. Yeah, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the conversation. And also, after the video's over, if you could come back and leave a comment, that would be greatly appreciated. It helps with the algorithm. But yeah, I think to close out the show, we still have a few more minutes. Eric needs to make a 10-minute show. I know it's very expensive, but a 10-minute cartoon would be perfect.
Well, when I asked for that longer cartoon, they just said they're gonna splice them all together so that it makes one long one.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, that'll work.
Because
So
right now he's working on part 2,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm sure there will be a part 3.
Yeah, he's
that
already
should-
talking about a part 3.
That should be close to 9-10 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Well, that sounds good to me then. That'll work out good. Then once they're all done, you can splice them all together. I do want to show people the Carl Crusher RC car because I want everyone to see that. The Chucky one.
Man,
And Carl, if you
That-
wake up in the morning and get notifications that we played your content, please don't flag us. So Carl the Crusher on his channel, before he got into the Magic Mesa project and doing the stuff that he's doing right now, him and his family used to build RC cars and race them. So this is an RC car that him and his family him and his kids were working on. So he took a little Tykes car, cut the bottom off, and zip tied it to a refrigerator rack, and then he mounted the refrigerator rack to an RC car.
Actually,
And that's not all.
strap it on here and it'll be pretty.
He
stable
takes
and
this
weight.
doll, this Chucky doll, straps him on in there.
We'll make him fit. His legs don't want to bend about. And get his hands all fixed in here so it looks like Chucky's driving the car.
That's gonna be so funny.
His hair like this.
That's gonna be so funny.
There it is, you guys. We did it. The little Tykes RC car is done. We just have to throw the batteries in. But check out our driver, Chucky. Oh, he's all ready to go with his hair. I got his hands all fixed to the wheel like that. So
This
so
dude
cool. I
is
can't wait
this
to,
dude is nothing but
turn-
positivity, guys. Please go subscribe to Carl the Crusher. You will not be disappointed.
He's fun.
I'm really gonna die laughing.
Check this out.
And his kids are cool.
Check this out.
Yeah. Does it cruise around? Yeah. It works. There you go.
When he hits this jump with it,
Yeah.
He loves
Okay,
it.
send it off and jump.
hit the jump, hit the jump.
Okay,
Suspension
Back
is
it up and
completely
then we'll send
maxed
it.
out.
yeah. You landed it.
That hair goes flying. It's so funny.
And Chucky's got a smile.
Yeah, that's the funniest part. He's not
He's
scary
loving it.
Chucky. He's
Yeah.
happy Chucky. Look at this part. Different angles. We need to get him on here and just talk to him about where he gets these ideas. That one's hilarious.
I'm gonna figure out. Well, first I gotta look at the calendar, and you tell me the date, and we'll propose it to him. But I mean, he already told me he would do it.
Awesome.
We're gonna get him.
We'll get him until he wakes up and sees that we played his content. No, I'm joking. Carl's awesome. So yeah, I'm gonna play. Let's go over to Paranormal Highway. Paranormal Highway, if you guys aren't familiar, this is our buddy Eric has a channel over here that he talks about cryptids and UFOs and Bigfoot and ghosts and all kinds of stuff. And he covers each one in every show. So it's not like you have to wait for your favorite cryptid or your favorite story about UFOs. He talks about all of them in each show. And this is his channel. He's got some new branding. He's really putting a lot of money and time, and he's really investing into his channel. So you guys will not be disappointed if you go over there and check his channel out.
That is straight entertainment, man.
And he's been working on a cartoon series. I think he's going to do a trilogy that we were just talking about. And so he just completed this cartoon the other day with Anthony and from Unidentified S4 and his brother, Dr. Wu, Eric's brother, Dr. Wu. And then I keep getting all these names mixed up. I'm going to say Carl the Crusher. Connor from Bigfoot Anon is also a voice in there. So yeah, we're going to close out the show, guys, with Eric's cartoon. Thank you, everybody, for being here.
Thank you,
to our
everybody. Thank you so
guests.
much.
Yeah, our guest today, Casual Conversations. It's awesome. Great time. So anything else? The morning show's back next week, guys. I got a lot of hate mail for not telling you that we were going to take a week off, but we just needed a week off. You know, Sonny's up in the mountains doing his thing. Spooky had some stuff going on, and been a while since we took a break. So we took a week off, but we will be back on the morning show next week, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10 a.m. Eastern and 7
7
7
p.m.
Pacific.
Pacific. 7 a.m. Pacific. Let's start over.
Hey guys, how's it going? My name's Chad Smith.
Yeah, it's a little late. It's been a
Tuesdays
long day.
and Thursdays, 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific.
You
Check
got
us
it.
out, Chad Smith Podcast.
Bam.
And we will we'll see you guys next time, you know?
Love you guys.
See if I can figure this out. All right, guys. Thanks a lot for hanging out with us, and we'll see you next week. Peace.
Hey, sorry I'm late, man. The Bigfoot casts were taking forever to dry out.
Oh, no problem, dude. I know there's a shortcut on the Paranormal Highway Road.
Oh, awesome. I have so much to talk about.
Oh, I bet you do.
Eric, there's this gator that has 2 toes. He's 24 feet long. His name is Tom. He's a
Oh,
ferocious...
dude, shut up. There's Bigfoot out there. Let's go talk to him, man. Come on, let's go.
Take it slow, man. Be easy.
Hey, we want you for the show. We want to show people you exist.
Hey, and we have jerky, too. So, Barry, what brings you out of the woods? Where are you from, man?
Coming from Boggy Creek.
Oh, man, you're far from there, dude.
Oh, it was a unicorn out there. I'm not even kidding. Holy crap, there's a unicorn in front of me. Hold on, guys. Hold on.
Oh,
Whew, that was close.
they say the horn brings good luck. Magical powers. Hey, Barry, you were right about that unicorn. Know anything else about the mythical woods?
Yeah, man, that's Medusa. Do not look in her eyes. She will turn you to stone.
Eric, be careful.
Hey, Medusa, we're doing a live show on the Paranormal Highway Show. I want to show the world that you exist. How about it?
Oh, man, what's this happening?
Whoa, 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 whoa!
Hey guys, I love the show, man. I want you guys to hang out. In fact, I want to play you guys on my planet.
Oh, wow. I can't wait to check out your planet. You got girls there?
Hey guys, you're gonna have a great time on my planet. We're gonna blow some things up.
What's there to do? What's there to drink?
Lots of smoke, lots of drinks. Don't worry about that.
What's that red light? What's in front of us? Are those meteorites? Oh, no!
Don't worry about this. He's got this.
Take cover!
This is really not that bad. You guys are just freaking out for no reason. No worries, man. No worries.
No!
Easy. This is not a problem, man. This happens every day. Hey guys, I'm happy you're here. I want you to introduce you to this guy. His name is Orko. He's going to be the one torturing you while you're here. Oh, by the way, we have another mission.
It sound right, boys.